Very big breaking news right at the top of 5 Live, and this is such good news, very welcome news. Domestic air travel will resume on the 25th of May in a calibrated manner. So after many weeks of grounding with no domestic flights, from the 25th of May, domestic flight operations are all set to resume in India in a calibrated manner. Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Puri has just tweeted, and I quote, domestic civil operations will recommence in a calibrated manner from Monday, that's the 25th of May 2020. All airports and air carriers are being informed to be ready for operations from the 25th of May. Standard operating procedures for passenger movements are also being separately issued by the Ministry of Civil Aviation. This is extremely good news. Poulami Saha with me live on this big breaking story. Poulami, how long has it been? And really big announcement here. Domestic flight operations will bounce back, but in a calibrated manner. Give us more details.
That's right. Shiv, the Civil Aviation Ministry, the Airports Authority of India, all the stakeholders associated with civil aviation in the country were constantly working on this. During the evacuation process, the repatriation process of Vande Bharat 1 and Vande Bharat 2, which is still ongoing, they had started domestic transfers for the international passengers. So domestic flights were happening, Delhi, Mumbai, Mumbai, Bangalore. All of these flights were happening. They were prepping for the same in order to reopen domestic civil aviation operations, and that has now been announced by the Civil Aviation Minister himself. He says that it will be reopened in a calibrated manner. The SOPs and the guidelines for passengers will be, of course, issued shortly by the ministry itself, and airlines are being contacted, airport operators are being contacted to prepare themselves to restart operations from Monday the 25th of May. Obviously, there will be a lot of protocols that will be put in place on the ground itself in terms of social distancing, in terms of ensuring that, people do not contract the virus as they come into contact with each other. We have to wait to find out what those guidelines are. But when the minister says calibrated, it obviously means certain sectors only. Initially, what we'd heard is about 25 to 30% will be opened. Like I said, they were prepping for this among metro cities, among major cities, and it is likely that these civil aviation operations, the domestic commercial passenger operations could open among these major metro cities, which are better prepared in terms of their airports being better prepared.
Just to be clear, Poulami, will the Civil Aviation Ministry be issuing further details about what is going to change as far as standard operating procedures in terms of people booking and what those sectors are? Or will this information be coming out from individual airlines as people, I assume, will now be rushing to see if tickets are available from May the 25th?
Well, the individual airlines obviously will have certain protocols in place. They have been working with the ministry already. Some draft guidelines were made initially itself in terms of, the meals that are served on these flights. So if it's a less than 2-hour flight, then you will not have hot meals that are served. All the sort of gear, the protective gear that the flight attendants need to wear, as well as the passengers, they need to be, wearing their masks, they need to be wearing their gloves as well, maintaining social distance. Web check-ins will be the order of the day. So as much as possible in terms of contactless checking in terms of contactless boarding as well. There won't be any boarding pass stamped when you reach your boarding gate, eventually after your security check, to step onto an aircraft. It will be something like a CCTV camera, which will be right above the boarding gate, which will capture your boarding pass and your identity, and it will be stored for 30 days. So you will be not getting it stamped physically by anyone over there. So all of these measures they've been working on in terms of finalizing the guidelines, and now what I'm hearing is that the airlines will also come up with their own set of guidelines, which they formulated in consultation with the ministry, and for passenger movement itself, and the protocols that passengers need to follow while they're at the airports, the ministry will be issuing those guidelines.
Very interesting and important, timely information. First,